The Ticklish Trouble of Max the Monster. One sunny day on the yellow planet of Alpha Leporis, Max the rude and reckless monster was feeling particularly mischievous. He had just come up with a new scheme to cause chaos, and he could hardly contain his excitement. "Ha, this is going to be great," Max chuckled to himself, his big purple nose twitching with glee. "I'm going to go to Earth and tickle all the unsuspecting little creatures until they can't stop giggling." Max hopped into his trusty green car and blasted off, rocketing through the stars until he reached the familiar blue and green planet. He landed in a quiet suburban neighborhood and began sneaking around, searching for his first ticklish victim. As Max crept along the sidewalk, he spotted a group of squirrels scurrying around a tree. "Aha! Perfect," he whispered, rubbing his large red hands together. Carefully, he approached the unsuspecting squirrels, his long fingers wiggling in anticipation. Suddenly, Max pounced, his nimble fingers dancing across the squirrels' fuzzy bellies. The poor creatures squealed and giggled, thrashing around helplessly as they tried to escape Max's relentless tickling. "Ha, look at them go," Max cackled, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "Tickle, tickle, tickle. You can't get away from me, you silly little nuts." The squirrels' high-pitched laughter echoed through the neighborhood, and soon a group of curious children came to investigate the commotion. Max, sensing new potential victims, quickly changed his face to look like a friendly, cuddly monster. "Hello, children," he said in a syrupy sweet voice. "Would you like to play a tickling game with me?" The children, intrigued by the strange new monster, eagerly agreed. Max grinned wickedly and began tickling them mercilessly, his fingers dancing across their stomachs and sides as they erupted into fits of uncontrollable giggles. "Stop, stop, it tickles," the children cried, but Max just laughed and continued his ticklish assault. He was having the time of his life, causing chaos and mayhem wherever he went. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out, "What's going on here?" It was the kindergarten teacher, her eyes narrowed with suspicion as she approached the scene. Max quickly changed his face to look innocent, but the teacher was not fooled. "I know you're up to no good, you big, ugly monster," she shouted, chasing after him. Max yelped and scurried back to his green car, barely managing to escape the angry teacher. As he blasted off back to Alpha Leporis, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of disappointment. "Oh, I didn't get to tickle everyone," he pouted. But deep down, Max knew that his days of reckless tickling were over, at least for now. He'd have to come up with a new plan to cause trouble on Earth, one that didn't involve quite so much giggling. After all, a monster like Max could never resist the temptation of a good prank. The ticklish trouble was just the beginning of his wild and wacky adventures.
He's a monster, monster.